Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Discovering YYC with myself, Mark, and Gabe. Today we have the opportunity of interviewing Amanda, the owner of the Day of Diva. Thanks for being here today, Amanda.
Hi, Mark. Thanks.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was born and raised in Calgary, which I feel like you don't meet many of those anymore. But yeah, I've been in business now for 5 years, and yeah.
Before getting into your business, what were you doing prior to that?
A lot of things. I was in oil and gas for a while, and I didn't like that, so I started taking event management program online at Mount Royal.
Okay.
And I really liked it, and actually in that program I said that I was never going to do weddings because I thought they were very cookie cutter and I thought they'd all be the same. Okay. But after that I got out of the program, I went back to state and did my business diploma, and then from there I started working at golf courses doing all sorts of types of events. We did like celebrations of life and golf tournaments and bridal showers, and we did one wedding, and yeah, I really fell in love with the process. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So then you decided so you were working, you had your own regular 9 to 5, and then you kind of started this business on the side, correct?
Yes, yeah, at the time I had a lot of friends that were getting married at that time, so what I was doing at the venue, I figured I can do this on my own. So I reached out to a couple friends and asked if I could do their weddings for free. And then that golf course at the time got bought out, so I didn't have a job. So I just started with doing friends' weddings. I started a website. We spent a lot of time on Facebook Marketplace, actually, is where I got a lot of business to start. Okay. And then, yeah, our first year was in COVID, so that was a fun year. Yeah. I was also working in events at Tourism Calgary at the time as well. And yeah, eventually it just kind of grew. In our third year, I went full time, started hiring people. And now we have a team of 4 planners, including myself, and then we have 16 of us total.
Wow. Okay, you grew a pretty big business. It sounds like it. At what point did you see that it was worth it for you financially, time-wise, to transition into making this a full-time business?
Honestly, I got fired from another job, and that was kind of my push. He sat me down and he said, I think you should focus on what you're really passionate about. And I was like, okay. So I left there, and I was able to make enough income to support me during that time. I just, was comfortable, and I had this other job, and he could just see that I was not interested in that anymore. And yeah, I looked at our numbers and I was like, well, we have enough income coming in to support me monthly. So that's kind of my leap. I was kind of pushed into it.
Okay. That must have been really tough, getting fired from your job. You probably spent years in school and everything. How did you manage to get that sort of drive to focus on this full time?
I think that was really the push that I needed, because I was really passionate about it, and obviously it was a hit to the ego. I'd never been fired from a job before, but I really took what he had to say to heart, and I was like, you know what, I think I am really passionate about this and I am really good at it, so why not go all in and see what happens.
Do you think most people need that push in life in order to make the leap?
I think you need something. It's either externally or internally. For me, you could spend hours working on a passion project, but I think if you don't have that push or that internal drive, it's hard to get there.
Yeah, can imagine. I mean, you deal with people in a very tough phase of their lives, right? They're trying to get married and everything. Mm-hmm. And we're also in a similar client-facing role. Everyone is pretty stressed in that process. What piece of advice could you offer to people like yourselves, like ourselves actually, dealing with clients in such a tumultuous phase of their lives?
I think clear and open communication is huge, and honestly setting boundaries and expectations from the beginning. Like, I'm very clear with our clients, our process, what we do, what we don't do, what they have to take care of, what we'll be doing, because I feel like that can really get misconstrued for people, and they're like, oh, well, I thought you were going to do this. So I think clear communication and just being really direct and open with them goes a long way.
So when you are hiring staff for your business, What would you say are the key qualities you're looking for in a wedding coordinator?
Good question. Yeah, we just started expanding our team more so this year, so I've really let the reins go a little bit, but I found some really good people that honestly you have to love it. I've had a lot of people come through, lots of emails and DMs of, oh, I've had a dream of being a wedding planner and it looks so amazing and so magical, but in reality, it's very stressful. It's high stakes. People are spending a lot of money on one day and the details are extremely important. So if you don't love it and have the drive to really focus on what's important to your clients, I think that can really be hard.
Yeah.
You have to love it.
Yeah. So based on what you're saying, do you think that to own a business and have it successful, you must love what you do?
I think you have to love it to a point. Like we were chatting with earlier, there's going to be parts of your business that aren't the fun part, like the hiring and the firing honestly is very stressful, but the other parts, like seeing our couples at the end of the day, just loving everything about it and just being able to walk away married and starting this next chapter of their life is really cool.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a lot, like, tell us a quick version of what a full planning looks like from the start date when you meet the clients till the day of the wedding?
Yeah, we do our planning in phase-based planning, so we break it down into chunks because a lot of our full planning clients are busy professionals. They have kids, they have careers, they have their own businesses themselves, so I like to personally give it to them in bite-sized pieces because they come home on a Friday night after a long week of working and they want to be able to see, okay, what can we do for wedding planning in the next 2 hours? So essentially our first phase is vendor sourcing, so finding them venues like this place, and then finding all their vendors. So we work within their budget and their style. We create a budget for them. We also manage all of their budget and all of their payments. So we have an online system that okay, your photographer payment is due in 2 weeks. It pushes all the information out to them. We just try to make it really easy for them. So we, give them 3 photographer options that are in their budget and their style, and they get to, sit down on a Friday night with a glass of wine and decide, who's going to be the best fit for them. The next phase is the design phase, which I call the fun phase. This is where we talk about colors and their kind of vision and how we're going to bring it to life. And this is where we source a florist, a stationer, decor, rentals, and we basically create a design proposal for them that takes the legwork out of, searching for florists in their budget and bringing everything to life. I think that part is really hard for people to see it come to life, so we actually create a design proposal that is very visual. Like they'll get to see their ceremony and their reception and their table mock-ups, which is great. And then the last phase is the vendor management phase, and this is we talk about timeline, logistics, how's the day going to come together, all the details, where are the girls getting ready, where are the guys getting ready, where are we going for photos, what song are they walking down the aisle to. So essentially, the year that we've been planning is kind of all comes together and make sure that it's going to be executed properly.
What is a common thread across all wedding planning?
Stress. Everyone is stressed. Well, it's just, I always say you don't know what you don't know. So people are walk into wedding planning terrified because they're like, I'm planning this day that's costing us a lot of money. I've never done this big of an event before. I don't know what's important. I don't know how it should be executed. So I think, I see some people come to us with wide eyes because they're just I want to get married, but I have no idea where to start or how to go about this.
Yeah. We are in real estate and a lot of our clients are also pretty stressed, especially first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
What piece of advice would you give to people like ourselves in that industry?
I think a lot of people really say that they appreciate us having a calm demeanor. They come to us and we talk through all the different options and give them, different points of view and just reassuring them that, this is a great option for them. And lots of people just say they really appreciate us in all of our meetings and even on the day that they have this kind of calm, personality that they can look to and just be like, okay, this is gonna be okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So what would you say, okay, so now we chatted about your clients and us all being in customer service. We all have to learn at some point to say no to business. Have you ever come across that point where you've had to say no to a person because of X, Y reason?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I think now we're at a point where people, I mean, weddings are expensive, so people look at our services and it just might not fit within their budget. So I feel like in the beginning I would say yes to everyone and fit within everyone's budget to, get as much business as I can. But now we're at a point where I know the value in our services. I know the value in our team. I know what we do for our clients, how much work it is. Like, people have no idea. And even our clients on the day, they don't see half the stuff that we do. So I know the value in it. So there are a lot of times where now I just say, we don't fit in your budget. That's totally okay. And there's lots of great other planners that are more budget friendly and they can go that route. But yeah, budget, and I think personality. I tell people, like, choose someone that you can see spending the next year with, that you trust, that you like, that you think it will be fun, because we get wrapped up in people's personal lives, family drama, finances. Like, this is someone that you want to trust. Yeah,
and that relates so well to real estate, right? Because we go through the same thing with clients. We're in their personal lives. They give us a lot of personal information. We're there for them. I've had clients call me at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. to talk about things that had nothing to do with real estate. They just needed a voice, somebody to hear them out, and it's just part of the business, right?
You actually touched on something very important. So when you first started out, you did everything for free. Like, your first 2 or 3 wedding plans were free. In this day and age, everyone wants something, right? You want to be paid to do everything. Is there some value in offering free services with the expectation that there will be something maybe in the nearest future? Not immediately. Well, I guess it's not immediate gratification, but it could be something down the road. So is that the kind of advice you would give to people?
I actually don't know if I would do the free thing again, because I feel like there's a mental thing with free, and people can kind of take advantage of you in a way, because they're like, oh, well, this is free, what can I get out of this? So I really wish, because I had the skills at the time, I wish I charged a little bit more. But with that being said, I wouldn't change anything. But I think you do have to start somewhere, like you're saying, you have to, get in there and maybe charge a lot less just to get the experience and kind of, make those connections. Because some of those vendors that I met, they refer us now because they had a good experience, even though I was paid $500. Yeah.
It does seem like nothing beats customer service, eh?
I think that's a huge thing for people, and I started to realize how much communication is huge for people. Especially when planning a wedding, people want answers, and they want them now. Like, we're on a tight timeline, and I think a lot of the compliments that we get is like, we're so responsive and we're always there. Obviously there's boundaries that you have to set with clients, and sometimes you can miss that and they're calling you at 10 p.m. But I think once you create that relationship with them and they really trust you and they can see, oh, she's on it, she's got it, she's going to reply eventually, I mean, we usually respond very quickly, but yeah, that's a huge piece.
Nice. I know you earlier on before this interview, you and I were chatting about mentorship, and I know you do have one. How has that improved your business, having a mentor?
I honestly wouldn't be here today without it. I invested a lot of money early on, and at the time I probably didn't even have that money, but I knew I needed someone that has done this before. I needed someone that was in a position where I wanted to be, and how did they get there? So I invested in an accelerator mentorship program early on, and now I'm just on a month-to-month basis, and they do monthly calls. But I really appreciate the guidance from, like I said, people that have done it before. My mentor is very numbers based, so she kind of takes the emotion out of making business decisions, which I really appreciate, because this is such an emotional business itself. It's really hard to get caught up, or it's really easy to get caught up in that. And if she's like, can I afford to hire this person? And you're like, oh, but I really want them, they're such a great person. But she's like, how much business can they bring in? Is it gonna benefit your bottom line? So I've really switched from being emotionally attached to my business to just seeing it as numbers. Sometimes you have to.
Yes, that's a very difficult thing to do. I mean, It's easier said than done, right? But do you mind clarifying between mentorship and coaching? Because I think people get it confused sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, I think a mentor is someone that can guide you and kind of, you're there to answer the questions. Coaching is more so something that I'm probably experiencing now with my coach, is she's like walking me through the process. Like, we have online programs that you can go and watch. So yeah, I also have had a mentor. She is a local wedding planner, and I've kind of, she's been always in my back pocket when I have questions, especially because my coach is US based. So having someone that is Calgary-based and in the market and has seen it, she's been in business for 12, 15 years. So having that experience, and when I was kind of at a road in my business, I asked her, like, can I serve sort of both markets? Because I wanted to serve luxury as well as, there's tons of people that are getting married that don't have $100,000 to spend on their wedding. So I asked her, like, in this business in Calgary, like, can I serve both markets? And she was like, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. How did you come up with the name, The Day of Diva?
Well, we started with, one of our main packages is Day of Coordination. So that's at 90 days out, they've done most of the planning, they've done the design, and we're really there to execute that last phase, the vendor management phase. So I started only doing Day of Coordination, and Day of Coordination, Day of Diva.
Yeah.
I love a play on words, so it stuck. And people don't forget it.
No, they don't. They don't. So what's the long-term plan for the business? What are we trying to achieve next?
Great question. So we're now taking the kind of leap where I personally don't do as many weddings anymore. I mean, we do almost 60 weddings a year now, and this year I only did 15, which is nice. I want to shift it where I'm not just on site doing weddings. I want to focus on driving the business and have more capacity to do sales and marketing. So I think just growing the team, and eventually I'd love to do, like 5 weddings a year. And I've taken a lot of joy in mentoring our team this year and kind of seeing them grow, and they've come a really long way, so I'm excited to see where they take it.
So another key factor for entrepreneurs, that at some point in your business you need to learn to delegate, and then you as a person, as the business owner, start to work on your business and not in your business in order to get it to grow. Remember that.
Gabe, no, I totally agree. I was actually about to bring up the exact same points.
Well, I think
At some point you have to step out of the business, right?
But you have to find people that you can trust.
Yes.
That's the hardest part, because I've had lots of experiences with, again, people that are like, I love it so much, but they don't have the drive, and like, we're on site for 12 plus hours a day. You're missing weekends. You are missing, big events that happen in your family's life because you're at other people's events. So, there's a lot of give and take, but you have to love it. And I think now I can tell people that are in it. Yeah. I feel like you guys can probably tell too. You're like, ooh.
Well, final question. The name of this show is Discovering YYC. What is the one unique thing you've discovered in Calgary?
Ooh, well, like I said, I was born and raised in Calgary, and my husband and I, we do a lot of traveling, but honestly, coming back to Calgary, I would not move. Like, I just love this area, being so close to the mountains, and still having that like city aspect is really nice. So something unique.
Unique to you?
Unique to me, I just love Calgary. I think Calgarians are really nice and open, which is cool. Like, you get to connect with people. Like, I mean, we met not that long ago, and I think a lot of the city is really open to that, which is nice. And there's a lot of people that, do really cool things around here in terms of like running businesses. And it's just unique people here.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Stay tuned for our next episode.